We are back yet again,
Yes, yes.
another week. So much going on in the world of sports, so much to discuss. I'm your host, Jason Flake. I got my co host, Lance Reynolds, aka the People's Champ.
What up, though?
I like to start every week the same way, man, thanking y'all for engaging with us on our social sites Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We did a fan cast on Friday night, man. 43 people tapped in with us, man. We got some comments, some likes, some love. So we appreciate y'all for doing that. Friday night, of course, we watched the Shadour game.
Yeah.
Fan casted that, so we appreciate everybody tapping in with us on that.
Yeah, thanks for sitting through with us. I'm eating and we don't have no mic.
Yeah,
We'll do better.
yeah, we'll be mic'd up next time, man. We'll have a little bit more fun, a little bit more engagement.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank y'all for tapping in with us. Y'all continue to like, share, and subscribe. That's Everybody Has the Number One podcast on YouTube. It's Everybody Has One spelled out. Everywhere else, um, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and we're gonna be engaging on Twitch a lot more
Oh, yeah.
in the coming weeks and months. Stay tuned for special announcements. Stay tuned for some partnerships, some exciting things that'll be happening in and around the Everybody Has One family.
It's getting real.
We appreciate you guys very, very much for the engagement. Of course, we got to start out with young Shadour Sanders, man. It's what
Oh, yeah.
everybody is talking about. We did fan cast that game. Everybody knows by now Shadour Sanders had a preseason start with the Cleveland Browns. Um, 14 for 23, 138 yards, two touchdowns, no interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, all in all, looked very comfortable in the pocket, looked excellent. Um, and it's not a surprise to me. Again, I maintain that he will emerge as the best quarterback in that quarterback room.
Yeah, you did call that right after the draft.
And it should result in some starts this year. I thought it would result in a day one start.
Mm-hmm.
They seem, hell bent on going with the corpse of Joe Flacco, and abusing the Cleveland Brown fan base even further with having to sit through obviously several weeks of him starting. So it's cool because Shadour, he's going to get his opportunity. It appears, but I'll take your impressions of the start, man. How did you feel that he looked? Did you see anything? Did you miss anything that you wanted to see? Is there anything that you wanted to see that you didn't get to see?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel that he looked, and what did you take away from the start?
Oh, wow. Well, I got a lot of thoughts on that, but first thing I wanted to ask you, did you hear the news today about Shadour?
Yeah, the oblique.
Yeah, do
He
you
had an
think
oblique
you think
injury.
that's legit or do you think that's
That's them making room for Gabriel. uh,
I don't know what to think about that, honestly.
I think it's legit, but I don't think it's serious. It
Okay.
doesn't sound serious, but again, I'm not on the ground there at Cleveland Browns camp, and I haven't read a lot about it. It was just
Okay.
kind of breaking when we were
Right. Yeah,
getting
yeah, yeah.
getting in here. So,
Yep.
an oblique injury, we'll have to keep our eye on it. Yeah,
Right.
so I did hear about that.
Okay.
Um, because I think he was set to start the second preseason game as
Right.
well.
Right.
And then all of a sudden there's this oblique injury today, which
Following the day after the Dylan Gabriel photo on the sideline with the gas face.
yeah. And then all
Wow.
of a sudden, he had to be held out of practice
Yeah.
today. So, I'm not sure what to make of that.
Okay.
Perhaps, he just tweaked his oblique and hopefully, it's not anything serious that'll hold him out
Right.
for any extended period of time. But let me put another spin on it, man, since you did ask me that question.
Ooh.
I certainly hope that it results in the Dylan Gabriel start
Okay.
because I believe that Dylan Gabriel's opportunity to get any playing time as a Cleveland Brown is on life support.
Are you saying the roles are now reversed?
Yeah, listen, I no, because I don't think that the roles were ever inverse in the first place. I always thought Shadour was a better player, but as far as the public perception is
Right.
concerned, you mean yes.
Yeah.
So here's my thinking. I believe that Dylan Gabriel's opportunity to get any serious reps with the Cleveland Browns is on life support. And I do believe that a start by Dylan Gabriel with the Cleveland Browns in the preseason will pull the plug.
Oh,
So be careful what you wish for.
yeah.
If they are having them, fake an oblique injury or exaggerated,
Right.
at the most, you know what I'm
Right. Yeah,
saying?
for sure. Okay.
So
I just wanted to mention that because
yeah,
like you
I
say,
heard that.
and I was like, dang, oh, that's kind of
Yeah, that was convenient.
peculiar. But I
Yeah,
didn't want to fly off the handle and go full blown Koofy,
you're right.
tinfoil Koofy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, I'm like, listen, let him start. I was hoping that he would get a start anyway. I'm like, go ahead and let him start. Go ahead and let the people see him out there throwing the ball after you saw what Shadour did.
Right.
Um, and again, I have additional thoughts, but I wanted to get your
Yeah, I
thoughts
got you.
on it
Yeah, yeah, for
first.
sure. Um, well, I thought, first coming out, I don't want to call them nerves or anything like that. I think it's just kind of working through
Sure.
just the process.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in terms of doing things that I wanted to see, I like the few scrambles
Yep.
that he had. Um, I think that he's always had enough speed.
Of course.
Excuse me. I don't think you can be like related to Deion Sanders and be slow.
Yeah,
Like I
right.
just,
Yeah, he's
like
got good athleticism. Yeah,
I just don't even think that's
I
possible.
think that they
So
were
if
attempt.
slow in that household is a 4 or 5,
Yeah,
anyone else would take that.
I think they were attempting to propagate the idea that he
Yeah,
was unathletic,
right,
which that was always a head scratcher.
right. Yeah. So like throwing the ball, I never really had any questions with that. Though um it was about 3 throws that I think he missed that he knows he missed.
Sure.
It was like a little lob, I think on like a wheel route or something like
Yep.
that. And it was like a few more, and it was like one bad throw that could have been picked,
Yes.
and then it was another one. But also, I want to say I saw maybe 3 drops.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree.
So there's that.
Yep. Yep.
So I'm not really gonna swing too far either way on that. I think 7 out of 10 times Shadour makes those throws.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't think that's a big deal. Would you like to see um everything go the way as planned? Yeah, I'm sure he would have too.
Absolutely.
So I mean, that said, I thought he did play well. I kind of looked for outside of that, like the little things, like does he have NFL level escapability?
Sure.
I think so far he's shown that. Um is the is the charisma real?
Oh yeah.
I was looking at the interaction with him and Miles Garrett and Njoku,
Mm-hmm.
and even Flacco started slowly but surely, to kind of warm up to it. Like you just kind of see it,
Yeah.
So I was kind of paying attention to that because, if you can come in and get guys, 8, 10, 12, and what Flacco's case almost 20 years older than you,
Yes, absolutely.
to believe
Mm-hmm.
in your ability, that's stuff you rarely get in the 5th round.
Yep.
My last thought, I thought, could this be the beginning of, like another Russell Wilson, Russell Wilson, yeah, Russell Wilson, Matt Flynn, situation.
Right. Yep.
Is that coming on the
Yeah.
horizon?
Yep.
Or Dak
Mm-hmm.
and Romo,
Yeah.
where Romo was kind of like on his last leg. Well, no, kind of. He was on his
Right.
last leg,
Most definitely.
and Dak kind of comes in, and Dak had a damn good college football career.
Oh, absolutely.
You know
At
what I'm
Mississippi
saying?
State.
So,
Yeah, absolutely.
um, So I kind of thought, maybe is this another one of those scenarios?
Mm-hmm.
So, but all in all, yeah, I mean, it was good. I think it was a more than good performance. I think he couldn't have really asked for a better performance
Sure.
based on the scenario that was given to him. And then to our earlier point of this convo about the oblique injury today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, think I'll kind of got, I guess, watch and see
Yeah.
um tomorrow at practice what the news is
Yeah.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder, is he sitting out now?
Yeah. Right. If he'll be out tomorrow. Just to kind of build on some of the points that you made, um, because a couple of things that I heard the detractors saying about it is that obviously we understand that it's just a preseason start. And he started the game against Carolina's ones because they played their starters to begin with. Um, but I think it's also important to note because they like, well, I mean, he didn't really get going until, they pulled their ones and got the second and third string in there. But
Mhm.
it's also important to note that he was also playing with second and third string guys. He's not playing with the number. Jerry Judy and Tillman were not out there, and
Right,
Joku was not out there.
right,
They're all on the bench as well. So it's not as if he's playing with Cleveland's number one offense,
right,
which, by the way, it's arguable that it might on his face be the least talented number one offense
right,
in the NFL, even when it's whole,
right.
even if he had all of the pieces around him, which is a conversation for another day. I don't want to turn this into Cleveland Browns podcast. But so, when I hear people say that, I'm like, yeah, well, he wasn't exactly out there playing with number ones. So he's playing with second and third string guys
Absolutely.
against second and third string guys. So it's a fair fight. Secondly, the two touchdown passes that he threw were
Dimes.
strikes. They were strikes. The first one, I almost thought he threw an
Right.
interception. I'm
Yeah.
like, if you looked at it, because he was
It was like two
going the
bodies
wrong man,
intersecting. Yeah.
he was going the wrong off the wrong foot.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful pass. It was perfectly thrown in the right spot with just the right amount of touch on it.
Oh yeah.
The other one was also between the defense. It was thrown in a tight
A
window.
straight grip it and rip it.
Yeah, it was thrown on time. It was a great pass. Um, and I also thought that you brought up the escapability, the ability to scramble, the ability to, improvise, get out of the pocket, to run, to escape. That also, again, yeah, I never bought into he's slow,
Right.
he can't run, he doesn't have any speed. Like, that was all just weird. Those were weird talking points to me the entire time.
Right.
And I think he's got, like you brought up the traits. I think he's got really good quarterback traits. He's got good leadership ability. He's smart. He's going to be able to learn the playbook. His father was an NFL player. He's obviously been around NFL players his entire life. He's not going to have a difficult time picking up
Right.
on NFL terminology, NFL lingo, NFL offenses. That's all going to be second nature to him because he's been around the NFL and NFL players his entire life, and he's been well schooled in that culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I don't want to belabor the point too much,
Right,
but
I get you.
but
But no, I mean, you're 100% right.
yeah, but it was an excellent outing for him. In my opinion, you know, I only expect for him to grow
Right.
from that. And I don't think, and also I don't think that those are guys that he had gotten a lot of reps with.
Right, exactly.
That's my final point. You know, and it looked really good
Great
for
point.
them to
Great
not
point.
have had a lot of reps together yet.
Because imagine when guys start laying out for him.
Correct.
You get what you know
The
what I mean?
trust is
Yeah,
built.
exactly. Yeah,
The communication, the nonverbal
yeah,
communication that you have to really develop between
yeah.
the quarterback and receivers.
100%.
So I expect that he's just going to continue to grow and flourish. And the last thing, a couple of things that people talked about that are ancillary to the game is that the conversation that he had with Tony Grossi. the Cleveland Browns radio personality, I think.
That Tony Grossi initiated, by the way.
Correct. That's what, and Tony Grossi said that. And I thought it was lighthearted. It was fine. There was not a problem with him saying, "Hey man, you gonna have something good to say." Nah, I
Yeah,
thought it
not
was,
like you threw a cooler of water on
yeah,
him.
exactly. Yeah.
If you know, you know.
That's a throwback, yeah, to something that Dion did. But yes, and I thought it was very lighthearted, and they laughed it off at the end. And Tony Grossi clarified that there
Yeah.
was no bad blood afterward, and also the coming out with the boombox and the staff. That was actually a teammate
Yep.
that was doing that. That was the teammate's boombox, and the teammate actually carries around that staff.
Mm-hmm.
So that was his. And also, I mean, I thought that was much ado about nothing anyway. I
Right.
think the San Francisco 49ers have a team boombox that
Yeah.
they bring out from time to time. So, people were trying to make a big deal out of that.
But what they don't want to make a big deal about is how that game was the #1 watch show on across all networks
Oh,
from
absolutely.
18 to 49,
Oh, absolutely.
and how in Carolina, a stadium that seats 75,000 had 71,000 in attendance in
In
preseason
the
game
preseason game.
#1. But
Absolutely.
we talking about Tony Grossi walking up in the tunnel and being met with kind words and a smile.
Yeah, that's what, right. I just wanted to
I know,
touch on those two
know,
things
I know, but it's
because those are the types of things that they try to make a big deal
for
about,
sure, for sure.
and it's really nothing. I thought it was a lighthearted exchange. He wasn't trying to dress him
Right,
down. He wasn't trying to be antagonistic.
right,
He was just, hey man, you gonna have something good to say. Now it was kind of like, hey, what I'm
right.
saying, I heard you been talking and blah blah blah.
I say that to say to highlight your exact point.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is that this kid has gotten people in the crowd
Yep.
with Colorado jerseys on.
Yep.
I seen old red Atlanta Falcon Deion Sanders jerseys
Yeah.
being waved in the crowd. Because you got to remember, before the Carolina Panthers had a football team,
Right.
you had to choose between the Atlanta Falcons or maybe the Washington Redskins at the time,
Yeah.
the now Commanders.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because the South really didn't have a plethora of football teams to choose from. Or the Buccaneers.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, man, they kind of sweep that through the rug. Like, you have to like search kind of for that information. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't give a damn about like ratings and stuff like that, and then of course there's already the jersey sales.
Yeah. I mean,
So
another thing that I find, another talking point that I find weird,
Mhm.
because of course Cleveland, they put out their depth chart and he's still fourth on the depth chart, which is whatever, at this point in the preseason. But then I hear the pundits talking like, see, this is why you didn't want Shadour Sanders. A lot of people were reluctant to draft him.
Oh,
Be-
that part.
yeah, because this creates a distraction now that he's had a good preseason game. And no, what creates a distraction is when you draft him out of position. See, had you drafted him when he was projected to be drafted, then you could just list him properly on the depth chart.
Yep.
This is what happens when you collude and you damage his draft stock. And then you draft him out of position. And instead of looking like a fifth round pick, he looks like a first round pick when you start him in the preseason. And then you have to answer questions about why he's sitting behind a third round pick,
Right.
who actually looks like a third round pick.
At best.
At best. This is the problem. The problem is not Shadour. The problem is not him creating a distraction. The problem is that you did something underhanded, or something underhanded was done.
Yeah. Period.
And then you have to explain, oh yeah, we did something underhanded, and now something underhanded is backfiring, because now, oops, he don't look like a fifth round pick. He kind of looks like a first round pick, maybe a second round pick, but he looked better than the third round pick is the point. And he looks better than Kenny Pickett.
Right. He looks like he could be a starter.
Yeah, he looks like he might be contending for the starting job, and we might even have to fake an oblique injury so that people stop talking about how come he's still showing up fourth on the depth chart. No, that's of your own making. And I'm not talking about the Cleveland Browns now. I'm talking about the NFL.
Right.
This is of your own making. This is not him creating a distraction. All he did was go out there and do what he was supposed to do. This is not him creating a distraction. This is you creating the distraction when you do something underhanded.
Yep.
But I digress because we have other things to talk about. Because I want to talk about our Lions, man. We'll keep our eyes on Shadour Sanders, and I'm sure that he's going to continue to do well. We're very proud of what he's done thus far. Our Lions.
Man, oh man.
So, the young man, I want to call his name. What's the young man that got hurt?
Maurice?
Yeah.
Norris, right?
Yeah. He got hurt. He went down with a blow to the head.
Yeah, concussion, it was ruled.
Yep. And luckily he's back at practice. He's just in concussion protocol now. Because it looked like it could have been something much more serious at the time. So much so that they didn't run another play from the time that he was carted off the field.
Like the last 12 minutes?
Yeah. It was like almost the entire fourth quarter. So it's good to know that he is back at practice. He's good to go. He's just in concussion protocol. Once he can clear concussion protocol, he can resume football activities. But that does bring me to the Lions injury situation. And I don't want to belabor it because it's become such a topic of conversation. There's many different schools of thought as to why we are in the injury conundrum that we are in. We talked about it off the air, but Dan Skipper said that he believes that we could be cursed. I don't believe I don't believe that. I mean, I believe that you can be cursed. I don't believe that that's what the situation is here.
Oh, okay. So Bobby Lane ain't came back.
No, I don't believe that this has anything to do with Bobby Lane. I do believe that this is entirely procedural. And it has to do with the physical nature of the camps.
Okay.
I told you I read an article on the One Pride website. So again, it's not necessarily fair and impartial journalism going on that website. They're entirely in the bag for the Lions,
right?
And essentially, they're taking the bad luck route approach as well.
Come on, man, that's just kind of.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's not bad luck 3 years in a row. It's not. We got 8 people on the injury report already. Now, in fairness, 2 of them are Malcolm Rodriguez and Aleem McNeil.
Right, the carryovers
from last year.
Carryovers.
But we got 6 people on there already.
Yeah.
In camp. And it's not because we cursed. They not getting hurt because of curses. They getting hurt because of physicality going on inside the camp. And, listen, I hate to bring up the Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs, but they have been to, I believe, 4 out of the last 5 Super Bowls.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of the standard.
They're the gold standard. They don't run a physical training camp. As a matter of fact, they don't do inter-squad practices. And when asked, Andy Reid said, when asked why they don't do inter-squad practices, Andy Reid said because they can get too physical. He don't want his guys hurt. He also plays his guys in the preseason a few reps.
Mm-hmm.
If you want some physicality in camp, get it against the other team.
How's that record looking in September?
His record, he's got a historically great record in September. Him, particularly with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is like one of the historically good early in the year. But we do have to change our methodology, though. I was reading this week, man, and I read an interesting scientific fact. 99.9% of all living things that have ever lived on the earth are now extinct. And, survival of the fittest is adaptation to change.
Yes.
You have to adapt.
A little Darwinism there for you folks.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit of science. But you have to adapt. I'm like, it's not that I'm saying that you need to overhaul everything that you do, but you have to adapt. You got to continue to adapt if you're going to. And I like Dan Campbell. I really do. I think that he's the best coach that they've had in my lifetime. But and I think that if we don't have 24 people on injured reserve last year, we win the Super Bowl.
Right. And he's not above criticism,
No,
but he can, but there comes to a degree as elevate high level criticism.
correct. Yeah,
You
like
get what I'm saying? Like there's a degree of high level
yeah,
criticism
success
when
and
you're
failure.
competitive that you can't run from.
Exactly. Yeah, success and failure. Like they're the two most difficult things in life to deal with. You
Amen.
got to deal with the success and the failure. Like we at a level of success now where you like, hey man, we doing great, we doing our thing. We won 15 games. I'm telling you, we are bad injuries away from winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If we can find a way to get our injury situation under control, I believe we could win the Super Bowl now because I think we flying under the radar. We being man, the Lions being disrespected all over the place.
Mm.
Man, man,
Win
people,
loss total predictions coming
yeah,
down.
man. Listen, when they people got Green Bay all over the place winning the division. I'm seeing all kinds of Green Bay predictions to win the division. I'm hearing people say that within the next couple of years, Caleb Williams, of all people, is going to be the best quarterback in the division. I'm seeing Jared Goff slotted in at ninth best quarterback. And nobody over the past 3 years has thrown more touchdown passes than Jared Goff.
Nobody.
And I'm seeing him slotted in as low as ninth best quarterback in the NFL. I mean, we being disrespected all over the place. This is the perfect time. We flying under the radar. We being disrespected all over the place. But it's going to be over before it starts if we have a bad injury situation. Yeah. And that injury on Friday night. And again, I'm glad that the young man is back at practice and just in concussion protocol.
Mm-hmm.
But that did kind of crystallize our injury issues and the injury issues that we've had over the past 3 years. But I'll take your thoughts on it, man. And how you feeling about the Lions in general this preseason and the injury situation? Do you think we're cursed? Do you agree with Dan Skipper? you think we cursed?
I don't think the Lions are cursed. I think
that almost made me laugh.
I think Lions fans are cursed.
So the injuries are just another way to punish the fans.
I think
that's an interesting way to look at it, actually.
I mean, I think like the kind of like new term that the youngins use for dealing with adverse situations or just disagreements in general is cope.
Yeah.
So that's how I've just come to cope. Like if you choose to endure,
yeah,
there's some suffering that comes with it. And if you want to view that as a curse, then I mean, by all means. This is something that we've talked about last year.
Yeah.
Towards the, latter part of the season.
Yep.
When it was just starting to become really obvious that this was unsustainable.
Yeah.
No like doubt. we were coping.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
With some hoping.
Yep.
But if you're sensible enough and watched enough, of any competitive sports, you just kind of know when you're starting to run out of bodies.
Yeah.
And especially when you're talking like important bodies. Like I remember we were talking about, it's going to come a time where you're going to need one of those guys to make a play against the other team's guy.
Yep.
And we won't have those guys available to make that play.
Nope.
And, we ran into that guy in Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, we did.
And he turned into a video game on the field. And that's not to take anything away from Jaden Daniels. He's great.
Yeah.
But damn, bro, the very next week, he looked like a football player that a playoff level team game plan for.
I mean, we had guys off the couch though
Right.
playing on defense.
Exactly.
I
Which
mean, yeah,
right,
like if you try to do that against a top
right,
tier quarterback, he's going to make you look
right,
like you just brought guys in off the couch.
right. But again, it's still as a Lions fan, you watch that, you feel cursed.
Yeah. Oh man, you
15
right.
and 2,
Yeah, right. Home
just to,
field advantage off the bye week.
just to get throttled like that at
Yeah.
the crib,
Oh man, I was sitting there.
prime time.
Yeah.
All of my um all of my cousins and aunts and uncles on my mother's side is from like the Northern Virginia DMV area. So I just had to deal with just all of that shit. Go Commanders. Like that don't even sound right. Beat it. Like like all of that. Like, I had to hear that just so yeah, Lions fans are cursed. The Lions are navigating how to make high level winning adjustments as a real legit contender for a title.
Yeah.
Now, if we just start getting stupid and like you say, nothing changes. And my thing, and I think we spoke about it either last week or the week prior. Like my thing is, we got to get a playoff win this year. Like get a playoff win. Let's get back to another playoff win. Let's get back there to the baseline.
Man, that ain't enough.
Like, no,
that ain't enough, man.
To me, that beat down last year was so bad that we need to come out the gate with a first round smashing.
Yeah.
And then now, Dan Campbell, can we get it? Can we get to the whole dance? Can we get to the game? Like the game. But I don't think we can even talk about getting to the game until we get back on the winning side of the playoffs. Like, because that game last year just like really, really, really left a bad taste in my mouth. Like really bad. Like, yeah, I felt like that game took us like almost 5 steps back.
Yeah. No, that was yeah. I just hope everybody in the facility got a nasty taste in their mouth after that one. So yeah, man, that's all I really got on the Lions, man. Man, we got 2 more preseason games. As far as I know, we're gonna stick to the program.
Are we gonna even entertain? I don't really have to about the quarterback situation. It's
what quarterback situation?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was just making sure we was on the same
You
page.
talking about these 2 scrubs that we
I
got?
wasn't trying to. I just figured was that just something we was both mutually choosing to just say,
because
we got fans that may be like, hey man, what about Hendon Hooker? Like if you ask
what about Hendon? What about
Hooker? That's how I feel about
There's
Hendon
nothing
Hooker.
about Hendon Hooker.
I just was doing my
Hendon
due diligence.
Hooker is a bum.
I'm the people's champ, man. I was just trying to make sure
I
we was
appreciate
touching all the
Hendon Hooker. No disrespect, bro. I'm sure you can play quarterback in the grand scheme of people, but in terms of the NFL, no, bro. Y'all pray for Jared Goff. That's it. If Jared Goff goes down, we really are cursed. The fans are really cursed because we don't have any other options.
There you have it.
Yeah. So speaking of quarterbacks, though,
okay.
Jackson Dart, Cam Ward looked real solid in the first outing.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly, man, let's touch on Jackson Dart just for a second. Again, I don't know how much people care about what's going on with the New York Giants.
Not much.
They got Russell Wilson over there. Yeah, right. Like they're gonna be a 6-win football team at best.
Mr. Unlimited.
Russell Wilson, he's such a strange dude, by the way. But nonetheless, Jackson Dart, I expect for him to get some reps as the starter with the Giants. Like, why not?
Right.
Because Russell Wilson is not good anymore. That dude fell off a cliff. Like that should be studied. Like his demise as a starting quarterback should be studied. But Jackson Dart has actually looked pretty solid. He's got a good pedigree. I like Lane Kiffin. Like he played under Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. He played in the SEC against SEC defenses, SEC athletes. So, like I think that the adjustment to the speed of the game you know, is not too much. I kind of like guys coming out of the SEC. I kind of like, them and their ability to adjust. So I kind of think he's got that going for him. I think he could be solid. He could be sneaky solid. I'm not predicting that he's going to be special, but I think
Right.
he could be sneaky solid for the Giants and be kind of a gap quarterback for them, maybe until they figure out what they're going to do. And I like Brian Dable as a quarterback guy, like he coached Daniel Jones, to a playoff victory. So, like that's pretty doggone special. But give me your thoughts, man. How you feel about Dart, man, and maybe what you, what you see going on over
I'm
there in New York.
I'm sorry, yo. Daniel Jones just man, that's just a rough football player to watch. Um, no, I mean Jackson Dart, he checks all the boxes in
Yeah,
terms of what you want. Um, it's just with New York is so tricky because like that organization in the past like 4 or 5 years just doesn't have like any direction, it seems like.
yeah, no,
Um, they make horrible free agent signings.
yep. They've been lost since Eli retired. I mean,
They draft injury prone players.
yep,
Uh, and then there's always the front office up top is just
yeah,
it's pretty bad.
yeah. I was gonna say, yeah,
Like
they do perplexing
yeah,
things.
it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, starting with letting Saquon go.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like
um,
you didn't want to pay Saquon, like
and we've seen how that worked out. And,
yeah,
and then again, that's another thing I think when you talk about Jackson Dart's development. Um, I mean, he's gonna see some tough defenses
yeah.
just in his conference
Yeah,
alone.
no, yeah. That the conference is, it's arguably one of the best. I mean, it's arguably one of the best in football. I think that would probably be reserved for the NFC and AFC North.
Mhm.
To me, those are the two best. But I'm like, the NFC East has, quietly come along
Yeah.
as a very, very difficult conference to play in.
Well,
So
so it's like that's it's going to be tough, and to not into your previous point to not have someone of the caliber of a Saquon
right.
as a
Running, yeah.
security blanket, so to speak. You know, it's tough, and I
Yeah.
mean with Russell Wilson. I mean, I think he's just kind of there long game. I mean, I think eventually, like Russell Wilson wants to like work in New York in the NFL front office.
Okay.
So I think he's just going to parlay there for a year, maybe maybe this is it, or maybe next year's it,
Okay.
and then he goes right down the street,
Yeah.
starts working for Goodell. That's just me. That's just kind of
Let
the
me ask you, man. Let's transit. Is Cam Ward a star? You think? Is he a superstar quarterback?
superstar.
Yeah, yeah, superstar. Is he Patrick Mahomes? Is he Josh Allen? Is he Lamar Action Jackson? Superstar quarter. I mean, this is a number one pick we talking about. Is he a superstar? What's your prediction? Your best guess, like right now, if you had to predict it
Is he a superstar?
one way or the other. Yeah, superstar. Not solid. Not I'm talking about superstar.
I,
Multiple championship games.
damn, I can't just say Pro Bowler.
No, Pro Bowler is nothing. That's nothing. Jared Goff had 2 Pro Bowls
I
and a
know,
Super
man.
Bowl
I was
appearance in
trying
his
to
first
find
3
out,
years,
man.
and
Shit.
after that, his team was making calls. That's not enough no more. No, I'm talking about all pro. I'm talking about
Okay, so let me ask you this
yeah.
then before I answer.
Okay.
I need a little wiggle room. Do you consider Jaden Daniels a superstar?
In the making. He's not there yet, but he's definitely in the making. Yeah.
Okay.
So if
Because I'm
he's
trying to find a baseline. Like Patrick Mahomes is like
yeah
a
yeah
superstar.
Josh Allen
Right. But I'm
yeah
like, do I think
Lamar Jackson.
so I'm saying, like, are you asking me, do I think he's gonna come and kick in the door like Jaden Daniels did last year?
I mean, no, I'm asking you, do you think he will develop
Over
into
a career, do I think he'll be a
correct?
superstar?
Yes.
Not in Tennessee.
Okay. That's it. That's my
No,
question.
not there.
Okay. Yeah. I don't either.
Not there. Nope.
he doesn't strike me that way.
Not there.
And I know that, you know, people
'Cause
like,
they
man,
were-
why
they-
you hating on Cam Ward?
No, I like Cam Ward.
I
They've
do
been
too.
too close before, where all they had to do was just have competent people upstairs for 3 summers in a row to just kind of just make something happen.
Right.
Where they had enough of like the critical winning pieces.
Right.
And
You saying they squandered Derrick Henry
Well,
for 10 years?
I mean, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
and
No, I mean, I agree. Yeah.
And I mean, the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball was pretty damn good.
It was. Yeah.
I mean, so
And they could never find a quarterback to put it in the backfield with Derrick Henry.
I mean, dude,
a
like
competent one. Like, get a competent quarterback.
and so now when you have like, you know, ham no burger, peanut butter no jelly,
Yeah.
because you know, if he don't do nothing by the end of his rookie deal, they not breaking bread
Yeah.
with him. And so now where does that put you?
Right.
And if your quarterback's not worth a second deal, that typically means he's not playing well. And either A, that's going to result in your team losing unless they found a replacement that's better than him, which makes it even worse for him in terms of him being a superstar. So if you backed me into that corner,
Yeah.
doo-doo, what my man Jim Jones say, the product of his environment, I'd have to say no. But, you know, if he pulls a, you know, like a KD or something, demands a trade, you know, early, and can get somewhere.
I actually agree.
You know,
You know, let's switch gears, man. Let's talk about this college football top 25. It was released. Texas #1.
Yeah.
Let's stop right there because they play Ohio State
Yep.
opening weekend.
Yes, sir.
And they're an underdog against Ohio State at Ohio State. Are they the #1 team or not? Like, what's with them being an underdog? Like, I'm like, wait a minute. Are they the #1 team or aren't they the #1 team? They got Arch Manning. They got a bunch of returning starters. How is it that they managed to be the underdog at Ohio State in week 1?
Is Archie still on the committee?
I don't know. You talking about the playoff committee?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
the AP.
Yeah, like, wasn't he like with the AP or was it the CFPB?
I'm sure he's, you know, somewhere in the ether.
Either way it goes, Archie Manning slinging his sausage around college football, and his grandsons, it's time to shine. So okay, there you have it.
But I just found that weird. I'm like, why are
weird
they
as bullshit? Is what it is. Ain't weird.
And then the next thing that jumped out at me is Penn State at #2.
Oh man, our guy, Jimmy F.
Yeah, like, word.
I mean, you know,
is Penn State #2?
Bro,
Are they the second most talented team in college
you ain't got to
football?
worry about that for long.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I don't believe in
fret not.
Yeah, James Franklin. Yeah, I don't believe in James Franklin at all. And the quarterback. I mean, like, he doesn't really, and I'm blanking on his name, but he didn't really stand out to me. And they lost the tight end to it.
Oh, you talking about Penn State?
Yeah.
Oh, the big fella.
Yeah. I was just watching him. He was just I was just watching him in preseason. What is it? Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren.
There you go. Shout out to my producer.
Shout out.
Yeah. So I was just watching. Tyler Warren was he was their best offensive weapon.
And then their quarterback was like their second leading rushers.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, and he didn't really light my world on fire. You know, he was solid. I didn't think he was horrible, but it was like he wasn't standing out to me though. So I was real surprised that Penn State at #2. But it's a real short list of teams that I think could win the national championship. Is this the first year? Is this going to be the 12-team playoff? Is this the 12-team playoff again? Or got you. Okay. So yeah, the top 4 get to bye. So this is the first year for the 12 teams. So I'm interested. I'm interested to see how this is gonna shake out. Michigan is right there at #14.
Right. Illinois at 12.
Right. What did Illinois do?
That was the one when I looked at it. I said,
what did Illinois do?
I said, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let me do some D&D on
Right,
Illinois.
yeah. I'm like, the top 25 ranking is always fun at the end because it's gonna be jumbled
Mhm.
by the end of the year, and somebody's gonna slide and somebody's gonna come back up. The reason I like the 12 team playoff is because you won't be so punished for a loss, and hopefully that'll get us some better interconference matchups.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody won't be scared to play. You won't have to watch LSU playing Mercer in the middle of the
Oh
year.
God.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're throttling Mercer in the middle of the year. Like, hey, well, how did this
It's
get
the
on the
second
schedule?
quarter and it's 56 to nothing.
Right, yeah. Like, and the fourth stringers for LSU are in. But yeah, so hopefully with that 12 team playoff action, we'll get to see some better matchups in the years to come. But yeah, man. So was there anything else that jumped out at you? Because those are the few footnotes that jumped out at me. Penn State being number 2
Yeah,
was
that
real. I don't
like I
get
said,
that.
I didn't really consider that.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, okay, they just thought it looked sexy,
yeah. I'm
you
like,
know.
I don't understand that voting, but
um,
okay.
what was it? Clemson at 4.
Yep, yep,
So they got they got some guys coming back. I think Cade Klubnik's back.
yep.
They got a couple of starters on defense coming back. And then we're just talking about Cam Ward. So I'm interested to see what Carson Beck does in Miami, coming from Georgia.
Yeah. Yep.
So the ACC, that should be tough because of what you got. Clemson, Miami, and SMU.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. I forget about SMU being over there now.
So SMU, what are they? What are they?
16.
25
They
or
they
16? Okay, so
16.
they 16. So the ACC is a conference to keep an eye on. I always root for Dabo Sweeney to lose. So
You're not a Dabo fan.
no, I'm not. I'm just not at all. Like, you know, just that is nah.
He's a character.
Yeah, for sure. Like he just, you know, he one of them like good old boys
Yeah.
that's like not self-aware to realize that. Like, no, you a good old boy, just own it.
Jerry Jones.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like just own it, bro.
Right.
Stop trying to act oblivious to the fact. No, you one of them.
Yeah, speaking of that, you plan on watching that Gambler documentary about the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry, particularly about Jerry Jones?
Is that the
Yeah, the
Netflix?
Netflix one.
Um, at some point,
Yeah,
probably. What is it about? Like all I saw
it's
was like the red
it's
carpet with
supposed
Michael Irvin and really bad hair.
it's supposed to be kind of about Jerry Jones and how he runs the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, kind of what we already know. It's
All
really
right.
an entertainment
How about that? I can
company.
sit and I mean, if I wanted to, I can just voluntarily watch people flush the toilet repeatedly.
Right, that's what I said. I'm like, I can't. Presently, I'm not interested.
Yeah, I thought one of those.
Perhaps
Yeah,
if
like
I'm sitting there and I ain't got nothing else to watch, I might take a look at it. But
that's one of those joints where it's like it depends on what clips come out that boy.
yeah,
Like if a couple of clips come out where it's like, what was that on?
somebody
Oh,
going
that right there. Oh, okay, I'll check it out.
somebody whose opinion I value is gonna have to tell me, hey man, you know what's good? That Gambler documentary
Yeah,
on
like
Netflix about the Dallas Cowboys, because otherwise I think I'm gonna miss that one.
yeah.
But because I don't care about Jerry. Listen, I hesitate to say I don't like the guy, but I don't find him to be a very sympathetic figure because he has no empathy. That's
Yeah.
why like poor Michael Parsons is wondering how he gonna take care of his family for the rest of his life. And Jerry, like, yeah, we get the deal done, we get the deal done, man.
Seemed like he might be a guy growing up that had a problem with integrating schools or something.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, that part. Yeah, I mean, and that's another problem that he has. That's probably why he's unsympathetic to his players and why he waits to the last minute to pay them, because he likes to feel powerful
Mm-hmm.
and like he's got power over their situation. And I give them food and clothes and cars. like he doing them a favor. But
Hey man. Hey. Donald owned it, baby. Donald is one of those races I like. He owned it.
Donald Sterling.
Donald owned it.
He did.
I love minorities.
Oh man.
Big magic.
Yeah,
oh man.
man,
Yeah.
that's one of the interesting stories in all the sports. Man, let's touch on the Paramount deal.
Yeah, crazy numbers.
The you know, I remember and I'll let you talk about it because you're a little bit more educated on the deal than I am. So I'll take your impressions of it. Paramount, UFC, ESPN, WWE. I'll let you talk about that, man, because I'm not a big UFC guy. But me and you, we talked about this, off the air. When I first signed up with DAZN, for the boxing, I thought that would entitle me to the bigger boxing events, right? So, in other words, if the deal was I pay, 40, even if it was, let's say it was, because it was only $19.99 a month. So I should have known it was something to it. But let's say the deal was it was $50 a month. Before that, because they got Terrence Crawford, they got Canelo, they got Usyk. So let's say for that, I get a handful of pay-per-views every year. I'm gonna buy the pay-per-views anyway. So let's say included with my $50 a month, I get a handful of pay-per-views every year. The time that I canceled DAZN is when the pay-per-view event came up. I tried to click on the pay-per-view event and it was like, yeah, it's $89.99. I'm like, well, what the hell am I paying the $19.99 a month for?
Yeah.
I thought I was paying the monthly so that I would get these fights included. I'm like, if I'm gonna have to pay a la carte, I will pay a la carte or I will pay monthly. I will not pay monthly and a la carte.
Yep.
I will do one or I will do the other. I won't be doing both. And that's what they was trying to get me to do. So I'll let you talk about the deal because I think this deal has a component in there where you'll get some of the pay-per-view stuff.
Well, the UFC and the Paramount deal is separate from the ESPN WWE deal. It's just that WWE and UFC are pretty much owned by the same group.
Got it. Okay.
So you got, Tony Khan and
Dana White.
Yeah, Dana White and TKO and all that stuff.
Got it. Okay.
So the UFC Paramount deal is a 7-year deal. So it's like $7.7 billion.
Got it. Okay.
So basically what it does is all UFC events, including the 13 numbered events, and then they'll have 30 fight night events. That's exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Got it. Okay.
So it's kind of like what you thought you were getting.
Okay.
When you got DAZN, right?
Got it. Okay.
So, in addition to that, they'll simulcast on CBS a select number of marquee matches.
Got it.
So even if you have like normal TV, I don't even think that exists anymore.
Right. I got cable.
What you got?
I think you can get something that'll give you over the air channel.
Yeah, whatever that is.
But I don't want to bore everybody.
Yeah, and I'm not, I'm not shitting down on nobody that like doesn't have like the ability to get streamed, but I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
like, I kind of like once you was telling me I needed a converter box, I'm like, okay, I have to do something.
Right. right.
So like that's kind of like how that went. So yeah, then they'll do that. So it's essentially the end of pay-per-view. Like it ends the pay-per-view model in the United States.
Oh, that's what's up.
So it means fans will no longer have to purchase individual events for an additional fee beyond their Paramount Plus subscription.
Oh, okay. So as a Paramount Plus subscriber, because I subscribe to Paramount Plus, I would get the UFC event. Like I would just be able to click right in.
Correct.
No additional charge. If I want to, I'm not a huge UFC fan, but if I wanted to watch a UFC event per se,
correct.
I'm entitled to that as a Paramount Plus subscriber.
Right. Because the key highlight is like it is a departure from the deal that they used to have with ESPN Plus.
Right.
Fans paid for a prescription and then separate pay-per-view costs for numbered events. Yeah. Which is similar to the deal that they have with the WWF.
Got it.
So
Okay.
the WWF kind of slid in to that slot that the old UFC deal had in place at ESPN,
Got it. Okay.
so to speak. And also they're doubling their money with this new deal. I think the last deal with ESPN, it was 650 million.
Oh wow.
This new
Okay.
deal, is 1.1. No, I'm sorry, 550 million.
Okay.
And this new deal is 1.1, 1.1 billion.
Mm.
So yeah, man. So pay-per-view is over with.
Yeah. So
Um,
on the last Usyk fight, the Usyk
mm,
Dubois fight, Turkey Al Sheikh was interviewed, and I actually caught this interview because he did it right before the main event, and he was basically saying the same thing. He like, we gonna charge you a monthly,
okay.
and for that monthly, he didn't say how much it was. He didn't roll out the plan, but he said, and that monthly will entitle you to all of the boxing events on the zone, all of the pay-per-view events. And he was basically saying that, like he kind of, his
Okay.
English is not,
Right.
you know, they call him His Excellency.
Yeah.
His English is not excellent though.
Right.
But
That's so dope.
yeah, it is, right?
Like when you see it in like tight.
I know.
His
I'm gonna change my
Excellency.
name to His Excellency. But no, he said that he was basically saying that when they was doing the whole subscription thing and charging people a la carte, that was before he was a part of
Okay, so they're restructuring
the boxing,
Okay.
the boxing operation. He thought that was Bush League too. He like, we gonna either charge you we gonna
Yeah.
charge you a monthly subscription, something fair, and
Mhm.
then you for that included in that will
Yeah.
be your pay-per-view events. And but he didn't talk about a rollout. He didn't
Yeah.
talk about a timeline. But I thought that was fair.
Yeah.
And I would be willing to do that, by the
Mm.
way. I'm like, because I, me, I purchased the pay-per-view events anyway. I'm
Right.
like, if you gonna give me a subscription, and then, like they had, so like with that 1999, like they would have like little ancillary fights,
Mhm.
like they would have, I'm just using an example. I'm not saying, like they would have like a Boots Ennis fight, like on a Friday night, or Keyshawn Davis, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
Yeah.
the smaller level fighters that weren't pay-per-view fighters.
The
So they would,
businessman.
yeah, they would have other fighters
Right.
and other fights, but they wasn't necessarily the fights that you would pay to see.
Right.
But if for the subscription,
But
like
if you love the sport, it's a good fight. If you want to watch
I'm a
something on
boxing
TV.
fan,
Right. Right.
so I would take in some of those fights. But I'm like, this is cool if I get this
Mhm.
and that. You know what I'm saying? Like if I get this and that, I really felt like I was getting a deal. I'm
Right.
like, but even if I was paying $40 a month, I'm like, if I'm getting these smaller named fights,
Mm.
and I got the bigger, and I get the Bud Crawford fight, you know what I'm saying? And I get the Canelo fight.
Yeah.
And I get the Usyk fight, you know what I'm saying? And I get the Anthony Joshua fight, like I get the bigger name fights too. I feel like that was a good deal.
Yeah, man. I just think, and we talked about it off the air the other day, man. I think it's just a mad scramble for that um for that marketplace of money,
Right.
or everybody that's connected from cable.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like it's just a large chunk of the population, of the viewing population, that's just like, dude, I'm not
They
paying
cutting the cord.
I'm
Yeah.
not paying $250 for cable.
Yeah.
Like hell no. Like 100 channels and I only watch like 4.
Yeah.
So and I mean, you look at the numbers in the past, I mean, like 3 years, 5
Oh
years.
yeah.
And I mean, really over the last like 3 years, they've just went up, I mean, like a hundredfold.
Yeah.
So, that money's there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in the entertainment business, you're trying to figure out, okay, where are we going to get this 12 months of money's worth that we were getting from these people?
Right.
You know what I mean? We don't want them to spend it anywhere else.
Yeah.
Let's get it
And they
before
still gonna entertain themselves.
let's get it before somebody comes up with something else that will occupy that dollar, that space. So, I mean, I think they're trying to get creative, because I mean, none of this, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's everybody trying to see what model works best between the new ESPN, NFL, Red Zone
Yeah.
deal, um, the NBA Amazon
Yep. Yeah.
deal, the WNBA new deal. Like everybody's got new deals coming 2026.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think the fact that that kind of coincides with people unplugging from cable and going more towards streaming, you know, I think we'll probably see more of it before it actually, before they actually get it right.
Yeah.
Before they get a model that everyone can kind of say, all right, cool. Like how pay-per-view was for what, 30, 40 years.
Yep. Last topic, man.
Come on with it.
Tank Davis, domestic violence charges dropped. What do you think that means? You think that we gonna get that Tank Lamont Roach fight? You think that Tank is gonna sit on the shelf for a minute? What do you think?
I think only Tank Davis knows.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if it'd be different if he was giving us any like inclination, any one way or the other.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a lot of it's not even double talk, man. Like,
He been quiet.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
He's been quiet.
he's been mute, bro. So I just want the young man to do what's best for him.
Yeah. Real
You
talk.
know, going forward. I mean, it's not a whole lot that he have to prove in the ring.
No.
You know, I mean, maybe to himself. So I don't know, man, because I don't think the fans want to see him go in the ring not right.
No, yeah, right. I
what I'm
want good
saying?
Tank Davis, yeah. Like I want vintage Tank if he
You
gonna
know.
get in the ring. But I mean, I think was he 30? He too young to retire, man. I'm like, he too young, man. He ain't gonna want to do that. He gonna have the itch. I mean, what's he gonna do? He not gonna fade into obscurity.
No, I mean, and it could be, a point where maybe he wants to try something else. I mean, I don't know what that is.
I was gonna say, what he gonna do?
I don't know. I mean, but maybe some other than get hit in his face.
Yeah, I know.
For,
But it's all he know. I'm like, and he's great at it.
And he's made a ton of money doing it, so he could afford the time to like do. Maybe he wants to just do nothing for a while.
Yeah, I mean, but listen. At 30, when you can earn that kind of money,
I hear you.
When somebody gonna pay you that kind of money for one night of fighting, I mean, and of course it's weeks of training.
But if you ain't dialed in, man,
that's true. You can get hurt.
You can't fake it.
That's true. That it's just like playing football. Like you don't touch that playing surface if you ain't locked in, because you could get your head knocked off.
You can't fake it.
So, all right, man. We'll.
But I want that fight, man.
I do too, man. I want that Tank.
And also be on the lookout for the Everybody Has One boxing ring that we about to start getting cracking, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the boxing wing of the show is gonna be.
Oh yeah, man. No, listen,
it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I told y'all we got a lot of announcements coming, man. 2025 is nowhere near over.
Yeah, fight fans, stay tuned.
Yeah, man. Stay tuned, man. We got a lot coming. Got a lot coming, man. Thank y'all for continuing to tap in. Continue to like, share, and subscribe. That's Everybody Has, the #1 podcast on YouTube. Everybody Has One spelled out. Everywhere else, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and y'all can hit that Twitch channel, man. We're gonna be over there fan casting. We're gonna be doing a lot more with the Twitch channel coming up. So y'all stay on top of that. We appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Y'all meet us back here next Wednesday at 8 o'clock, or as close as we can get to
CP time.
You know how that is. Everybody Has One podcast.
Peace.